All right. Well, I've got one over on YouTube, so they're not gonna be able to hear you guys. We're gonna get him up though. Okay.
Cool.
All right, Bill, you are unmuted. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, thank you, my friend. How's it going for you?
Doing all right, brother. Are you over the age of 18?
Cool, I am, yeah, mate. I'm 31. So
Wonderful.
nothing to worry about in terms of everything that we're discussing.
Yeah. Which religion are you?
I'm not of any real, dedicated religion like that. I don't consider myself to be Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, agnostic, whatever the fuck it is that you want to call it, pagan. I just think that logical thought and reasonable deniability of things can lead us to. I said in a comment earlier in the chat that my belief anyway is that it takes less faith to believe that there is an intelligent designer and creator of the universe that, in a way, if you were a non-physical, stagnant, like conscious being, a mass in stasis, let's say, yeah, just in nothing. I know it's hard to wrap our brains around the concept of nothing, but imagine that there is nothing, and imagine if you wake up in that one day. But then you discover that your thought energy, in the same way that you can think about the image of an apple and envision it in your mind right now, right? Where is that image coming from? Where is it? You can recall the image, you can view an apple, and your conscious is aware of the apple, but it only exists in your mind, and it's imprinted onto nothing, really. Now, imagine if you were that spinning entity in stasis, and you discover that the thought form of an apple produces the apple, right? Now, I know this is it's probably going to be a little bit alien to think about it from this perspective for most of your viewers, because I don't think people really get this deep on.
You're an
this kind of
integrated
subject.
information theorist.
I'm a what, sorry?
Integrated information theorist. You believe in panpsychism.
Could you elaborate on what that?
You're talking about the philosophical hard problem of qualia. It's not a hard problem in actual neuroscience. It's only a hard problem in philosophy because they make it a hard problem. We work with something called global workspace theory, which is that consciousness is an emergent property of the brain. Well, what does it mean to feel things, and how does it feel to feel red? What is that? Well, neurons. Thank you. There's no justification to believe that a god did it, and you being able to imagine something because of a part of the brain that allows you to hallucinate does not equate to an external consciousness coming into your brain. If you had no brain, you would have no consciousness.
That is a reasonable argument, but then if I said to you, well, are you suggesting that because an apple already exists, my thought form of an apple is only recalling information that is stored in my brain because I've already seen an apple?
Pretty much. Yeah, imagine something that doesn't exist.
Imagine a blue apple.
I can. Because I've seen blue, and I know what an apple looks like, and I can put them together. Imagine something that doesn't exist.
Well, nothing. What I was saying.
Imagine nothing. Well, what does nothing look like?
Okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
It doesn't get interesting at all. It's just a hard problem of philosophy that's unnecessary. What is nothingness? Describe it.
A lack of all time, space, and matter.
Yeah, what does that look like?
Consciousness in a raw form.
No, that would be something. That'd be consciousness. So what does nothingness look like? Demonstrate it.
Well, consciousness is not a measurable field, though, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's in the brain. We can literally measure it with an fMRI machine. It is 100% quantifiable and demonstrable and observable.
Is that not electromagnetic frequencies?
Yeah, literally. It's an emergent property of the brain. Same as a spring on its own is a spring, and a piece of wood on its own is a piece of wood. Put them together, and you emerge a rat trap. Things being put together emerges other properties, same as matter is an emergent property of energy. Yes, consciousness is an emergent property of the brain. Without the brain, you do not have it. Same as if you don't have the spring for the rat trap, you don't have a rat trap.
So energy, I would tell you then that energy in its rawest form is consciousness, and that everything else that proceeds out of that is just a lower vibrational, densified version of that original.
Define consciousness.
Define it.
Yeah. You're bringing up philosophical problems for scientific questions.
Awareness.
So what part of energy is aware? Give me a particle, give me a proton, give me some sort of energy, and tell me how it's aware.
Well, have you heard about the double slit electron experiment?
Yeah, that doesn't prove anything about particles coming in and out of existence. What it's showing is that instead of particles working in a very predictable moment, we have to have a probabilistic explanation of where it's going to land. They don't pop in and out of existence, and they don't actually work in a literal wave. How it works is they're quantified into a probabilistic expectation instead of a we know it's going to hit here expectation. It has nothing to do with things coming in and out of existence. Quantum mechanics does not prove God. Quantum mechanics does not prove universal consciousness. Those are all ignorant strawmans of quantum mechanics because quantum mechanics is still unknown by massive amounts.
I'm not trying to claim here then that quantum physics proves the existence of God.
It doesn't prove the existence of universal consciousness or nothing. What we know about consciousness is global workspace theory. It is the most consistent, most reliable explanation for everything to do with consciousness. We use it in everything. That's the equivalent of saying that evolution isn't true, even though all of biology is based on evolution.
Okay.
So again, none of this panpsychism is going to explain anything about a god or any likelihood or reasonability for a god. What evidence do you have for a god? Because that's what we were talking about first, and you switched it from God to consciousness.
Okay, well, then you would have to define what your idea of God is.
The classical theistic definition of God is an all-powerful triomni creator of the universe. That doesn't exist. What's your definition of God?
I would say it's the original consciousness of which all things proceed, time, space, matter, and
space, time, and matter does not come from consciousness, because if you define consciousness as awareness and awakeness, which is the literal definition of consciousness, congratulations. Again, consciousness is fucking derived from the brain for the third time. Without a brain, you have no consciousness.
But where does energy come from then?
Energy, the first law of thermodynamics is energy cannot be created. Energy exists, therefore it's always existed. The universe is eternal, brother. Energy has always existed, always will exist. Consciousness is not some magical fucking field.
Okay, I understand what you're saying there then, but in the same sort of like parallel argument, like how do you suggest then that the universe is eternal, like rather than there being a being outside of the universe that is eternal? How is that?
Because there's evidence of energy and there's not evidence of a being. That's stupid. We justify things with evidence. The universe is empirical. We demonstrate it. It's falsifiable.
Yes, but okay, so you can measure things within sort of like, you know, the simulation theory, obviously,
which has been 100% debunked this last year.
I know. I'm not going to get into the simulation theory with you about that because I'm not a believer in simulation theory. I think
so. Then don't bring it up.
It's it's comparable though. It's comparable because
if it's comparable and it's 100% false, then your argument is 100% false.
In its nature, if the universe is fractal in its nature,
I don't care about ifs.
It is by the mathematical thumbprint of everything from galaxies spinning to the sun. You know, the pattern of spirals in sunflower seeds and the conical of your ear and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that law of numbers.
It's the universe, dude.
Seem to be, yeah, but it doesn't seem to be like it's not a random.
There is, yeah, you're correct. But by the way, chaos still has order. It's called chaos theory. There is no external lawgiver. When we talk about gravity, when we talk about these axioms, we're describing the universe. We are not prescribing any attributes. We are describing how and what the universe is. Gravity is natural. There is no external lawgiver.
I understand. Well, somebody in your chat did say that, you know...
a lot of people in my chat are dumb as shit. Science doesn't prove God.
I know this. Yeah, don't worry. I kind of picked up on that, which is why I thought I would accept the invitation to come on with you, because I felt like it would be a little bit more of an interesting conversation for two people that are actually open to listen to each other's ideas like that. Like, I'm hearing everything that you're saying.
I'm open to some ideas, but panpsychism is the dumbest fucking argument on planet Earth. Universal consciousness is stupid.
You've used that word a couple times, right? And I'm not familiar with the term panpsychism.
Panpsychism.
So would you just be able to like bring me up to date with what that is?
Yeah, it's the idea that all things are conscious. Basically, this mathematician made up a mathematical formula called PHI because he found out that certain matter. Oh shit, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but he found these consistent properties in all of matter. And with using this made-up formula, he was able to correlate all things together. The problem with it is there's no evidence justifying that it is a consciousness. There's no evidence justifying that all things and their consciousnesses react together or relate together. It's inconsistent as hell. But basically, panpsychism is all things are consciousness and energy. Even a rock in and of itself has some form of consciousness. It's just stupid shit.
Well, see, I think that this is where those people, whoever has come up with this sort of explanation of things, they I guess kind of agree with me in the way that if a rock is made of atoms, and atoms are in some way, shape, or form made of energetic signals, which if you get down to the lowest denomination of matter in quarks, and then realize that quarks are actually 95% or 99.99% empty space, but scientists are somehow able to measure two frequencies that make up every quark, which is usually some form of an audio sonic frequency, so a sound, and a light, as in like a light wave that's I guess measurable on a spectrometer or something like that. I'm not a scientist myself, so I don't know, but I read these things because I find them interesting. But when you kind of break that down and then take the word universe and see that the kind of direct translation from that, I know maybe these are fanciful, things to ponder on.
Yeah, you're metaphysical. I don't care about the metaphysics of it. I care about the ontological reality.
I understand.
I don't care. I genuinely couldn't care less. It's possible Voldemort made the universe. Why the fuck would I believe it?
That's a good point, actually.
Exactly. But, a god is as likely as Voldemort and a unicorn. So why the fuck would I believe it?
Well, that's the same argument, which I have to say, actually, one of my family members would kind of give me as the way to say, oh, well, it doesn't matter about the conversation, whether or not there's a grand creator of the universe that watches over everything and does whatever. It doesn't really matter, and it doesn't impact your life in any way. So why do you care?
That I don't agree with.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, for people who do believe in some kind of cycle and the indestruction of energy, it's only transferred. So when your body dies, the conscious energy that is and always has is the thing that you've always said, the energy in the universe that has always existed. That is what I believe consciousness to be.
Dude, we know for a fact that when you die, your brain turns into heat into the ground. Your consciousness goes away because it's an emergent property of the brain. The brain melts and goes into the ground as heat. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, so instead it transfers.
Could you just sort of give me your opinion then on certain stories? Like, do you know about the kid from Barra, Scottish Island, that somehow was able to remember a house that he says that he grew up in a previous life, and
tell me
family members.
Tell me the peer review that shows that every millisecond of his life was observed, and we know for an absolute fact he never heard a story, he never saw it on the news, he never read it in any story, he never heard anyone over talking about it. He has never in his entire existence, all he did was live in a bubble, and never in his entire life heard this story ever from anyone, any source, anytime, anywhere. Then we can say justifiably that is true, that he possibly had a past life. You can't do that because it doesn't exist. That would be child abuse.
What you're saying is that is
so it's not justified as true
with objective fact. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I don't care about metaphysics. You are 100% obsessed with metaphysics and nothing actually epistemic. I care about epistemology. Metaphysics are cool. What if a unicorn existed? What if a god existed? Could it have triomny properties? Would it be able to break the laws of physics and special pleading no longer work on it? Would it no longer be a fallacy because it actually did create the laws of logic, therefore can break the laws of logic? That is metaphysics. Saying that this being does exist and interacts with the world is empirical. Saying this unicorn does exist in my backyard is no longer metaphysical, it is empirical. Saying does this unicorn have fur or does it have scales is metaphysical. When we are talking about objective reality, I don't give a monkey's fucking ass about the metaphysics. I care about the fucking facts and evidence that justifies true conclusions. I don't give a shit about the meta at all. I couldn't fucking care less. It's the most obnoxiously bullshit, annoying as fuck argument on planet fucking Earth that runs in circles with begging the question, special pleading, God of the gaps, every fallacy known to fucking mankind over and over and over and over. It's repeatably annoying.
Right. I'll let you get on with your day after this then, yeah? I'd just like to put to you my sort of summarization of why I think that it is that we are here, why we exist, why
we exist because our parents
kind of
fucked.
Unfolds and exists, yeah. Because what? Sorry.
We exist because our parents fucked. There you go.
All right. Okay.
The metaphysics doesn't fucking matter.
Why have we developed a higher level of faculties than, let's say, like any other conscious form that we have?
We haven't
evidence of in the universe. Then
we haven't. To think that we are special is stupid as well.
We create things.
So do other animals. That's a dumbass, ignorant argument. Apes
Animals
build too.
with music,
Crows and fucking elephants have better memory than us. Beavers build all the fucking time. It's called a dam. Ever heard of it? Dude, we are not special. Apes and other creatures use tools. And just because we talk
in the same way that a fox
just
digs
because
a
we
hole due
talk
to
in a
instinct.
different way does not equate to our intelligence being better or greater than theirs. We don't even compose music as good as whales. Whales compose music, my guy. They cry, they have feelings, they have empathy, they have morals, they have systems in society and structures and cultures, their own cultures. We are not special. We are animals, my guy. We evolved differently because we live in a specific area that allows for us to require different needs for our survival. That is why we are different, not because some higher up unicorn fucking decided that we are special little creatures. We are mammals. We are 100% absolutely animals.
Special. No, I didn't say that we were special.
Yes, you are. You literally just said, why are our faculties allowing us to do more things than other animals? We are not special. We do the same thing as other animals.
Is objectively fact, though. We are able to create things that other animals are not able to
Yeah,
create.
no shit. Can you fucking run 40 miles an hour? No? Then a cheetah's better than you. That's fucking stupid. That's fucking stupid. Can you climb a tree and jump tree to tree? No? Then a fucking monkey is better than... No, that's stupid. In our environment, we are great. In their environment, we fucking die. They are better than us in their environment. We evolved in our environment to survive our environment. That is evolution. There is nothing special about us. We're fucking animals. We have the same intelligence in a different way.
On planet Earth, we can build
because we evolved to do that. You asked for the purpose and reasoning? There you go. We know this for a fact thanks to embryology, fossils, DNA, all sorts of archaeology.
Why do we feel the need to explore then? If we're good in our own
because we evolved curiosity and a brain of consciousness. We have the answers to this. Get out of the fucking meta and get into actual science.
So why do you believe it is that we exist then? If there is a reason,
there is no purpose. You have subjective purpose. Some people's purpose is to have family. Some people's purpose is for career. Some people like to philosophize and question absolutely fucking everything like you are doing.
So this is what I'm saying then. Like, if there are so many possibilities for consciousness to explore itself down these different rabbit warrens and fractal pathways of where life can go, i.e. a tree can grow up or it can die or it can be choked out by another tree. Every experience that is ever able to be conceived inside of a conscious mind can or will be played out at some point through the unfolding of matter in time and space. And in that regard, I think that my idea of God has come from the fact that I know that I can observe things. And if I was trapped in a space where it was just, like I say, static, just spinning in nothing, whatever nothing looks like, and I realized that my thought forms create meta, things, then I would throw myself into form in order to develop myself as a being.
Sure, that would be your purpose. Therefore, subjective. The definition of subjective is mind-dependent, and or the actual dictionary definition is going to be changes in accordance with feelings, tastes, and opinions. That is subjective. There is no inherent purpose to life at all. There is not a nothing doesn't exist.
Well, yes, you've got free will to make of your life.
I don't even know if I believe in free will, dude. I don't care. Life exists because it fucking evolved. Do I need to say it 30 more times for you to comprehend it? Life evolved. Life emerged. It is an emergent property of the natural... No, it fucking didn't. No, you're right. It was natural. It was a natural cause.
What force in the universe caused it to evolve then, if it didn't need
natural phenomenon. You ever heard of abiogenesis? No. Chemistry, my guy. My brother and Odin. Chemistry. It was possible... And every single fucking possibility that could have possibly happened fucking happened. And we got lucky as shit. There's possibly, most likely, most probably, most plausibly other life. We have found signs of ancient fucking bacteria on Mars, my Jesus Christ. That doesn't make them special. Right. It doesn't make us special. There's nothing special. There's no purpose.
They also exist, though, within the conscious reality that
there is, dude. No. You're going back to panpsychism. I don't give a fuck what everyone believes. I don't care if 100% of people believe that we were unicorns. That doesn't make it true. I don't appeal to the masses. I don't appeal to populace. I don't appeal to authority. I don't do fallacies. Fuck that shit. You have an idea. You have a metaphysical concept. Find evidence to justify it. You can't. I'm not granting it. I'm an empiricist.
So what do you define as the purpose of your life then?
I don't fucking have one right now. I enjoy learning. I enjoy talking. I have friends and family. I enjoy going out and enjoying people.
Okay.
I like teaching. I like to debate. I don't fucking like meta. You are obnoxious.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you like teaching, you like learning, you like social experiences with other people.
It's all subjective.
Imagine if you were a...
I don't want to imagine, dude. Stop with the meta.
Well,
I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care.
You can explain the... Like I say...
I'm done. I can't. I fucking can't. Holy shit. Yeah, but what about, imagine, possible. What about, I don't fucking care.